The notification chimed on my phone during lunch break, and I almost choked on my turkey sandwich when I read Derek's message. Your son can't come to Disney with us. Our kids saved their birthday money. Yours didn't earn this. I stared at the screen through the window of my insurance office, watching my 16-year-old son Jake bagging groceries across the street at Murphy's Market. His red apron hung loose on his thin frame as he carefully placed each item, treating every customer's purchase like it mattered. The unfairness hit me like a physical blow, watching my hard-working boy through that glass. I set my phone down with trembling hands, my appetite completely gone. The fluorescent lights in my small office suddenly felt too bright, too harsh, illuminating every crack in the cheap desk I'd inherited when I started working as an insurance adjuster 3 years ago. 3 years since Sandra walked out taking half our savings and our stability with her. 3 years since Derek started treating me like the family disappointment. My brother Derek owns the largest auto dealership in our county, with his name plastered on billboards along Highway 67. Every family gathering, he arrives in a different luxury vehicle, his wife Patricia dripping in jewelry that costs more than my monthly salary. Their kids Emma and Tyler, both 14, carry the latest smartphones and wear designer clothes that Jake probably couldn't afford even after months of saving. Jake started working at Murphy's 8 months ago, right after his 16th birthday. Not because I forced him to like Derek apparently tells people, but because he wanted independence. He wanted to build something for himself. Every morning at 5:30, I watch him iron his school clothes and pack his lunch. He attends Lincoln High from 7 until 2:45, then walks 12 blocks to Murphy's for his 4-hour shift. Never complains, never asks for rides when it's raining. His college fund sits in our small credit union, growing dollar by dollar. $3,200 every penny earned by scanning barcodes and carrying groceries to cars in the parking lot. $8 an hour, which Derek probably spends on a single cocktail at his country club. I remember last Christmas when Derek's kids unwrapped $1,000 gaming systems while Jake received a second-hand mountain bike from a garage sale. He thanked me with genuine enthusiasm, spending the next weekend cleaning and oiling every component until it sparkled. Patricia posted photos on social media showing Emma and Tyler's elaborate gifts, but somehow never captured Jake's quiet gratitude. The worst part wasn't the material differences. It was watching Derek's attitude shift after Sandra left me for Richard, her wealthy business partner. Suddenly, Derek acted like my struggles were contagious, like my reduced circumstances reflected poorly on the family name. At Easter dinner, he actually suggested I should consider other career paths while cutting into his prime rib. But Derek crossed a line today. As I reread his message, my hands started shaking with rage. I picked up my desk phone and dialed his dealership. Riverside Auto, Derek speaking. What the hell is wrong with you? I didn't bother with pleasantries. Milton, what are you talking about? The Disney message. How dare you exclude Jake from a family trip? Derek's laugh carried that condescending tone I'd grown to hate. Look, buddy, my kids have been saving their birthday money and allowances for 18 months. They earned this trip. Jake chose to work instead of saving for fun. Jake is working to pay for college, Derek. He's 16 years old and more responsible than most adults. That grocery store uniform is embarrassing at family functions, Milton. The boy needs to learn there are consequences for choices. I gripped the phone tighter. Consequences. He's building character and a future. Character doesn't pay for Disney tickets, Derek said smugly. Maybe next time he'll prioritize differently. The line went quiet except for the sound of my breathing. Through my window, I could see Jake helping an elderly woman load groceries into her sedan, taking extra care with her bread and eggs. You know what, Derek? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, what? Jake didn't earn a Disney trip. You're completely right about that. Derek seemed caught off guard by my agreement. Well, I'm glad you understand. Oh, I understand perfectly now. After I hung up, I sat in my chair for 10 minutes, watching my son work with the dedication that Derek would never appreciate. Then I opened my laptop and started researching something that would change everything. The climactic twist hit me when I scrolled through Patricia's Facebook timeline. There, buried among her endless vacation photos, were pictures from 6 months ago showing Disney planning sessions. Emma and Tyler spread brochures across Derek's mahogany dining table, calculators and notebooks scattered around them. The caption read, "Planning our summer Disney adventure." The kids are so excited. 6 months ago. This wasn't about birthday money or earning anything. This was a deliberately planned exclusion timed perfectly to hurt Jake when his work schedule would make joining impossible anyway. Derek had calculated this cruelty months in advance. I called Derek's cell phone immediately, my fingers stabbing the numbers with force I didn't know I possessed. He answered on the second ring, probably expecting me to grovel. "Changed your mind about understanding?" His tone dripped with satisfaction. "I saw Patricia's Facebook posts, Derek. You planned this Disney trip 6 months ago." Silence stretched between us like a taut wire. "I don't know what you're talking about." March 15th. Patricia posted photos of the kids planning their summer Disney adventure, with brochures spread across your dining room table. This was never about birthday money. Derek's breathing became audible. "So what if we planned ahead? That doesn't change the fact that my kids saved money and yours didn't." "Your kids get $500 monthly allowances, Derek. Jake earns $8 an hour bagging groceries. There's no comparison. Maybe you should give Jake an allowance instead of making him work like some Dickens novel." The accusation hit like a slap. Making him work, Derek Jake asked for this job. He wants to pay for college himself. Right, college. Derek's laugh was bitter. "Community college, you mean? My kids are already touring Ivy League schools." "Jake will attend whatever college he chooses based on merit, not Daddy's checkbook." "Merit doesn't pay tuition, Milton." I heard Patricia's voice in the background, then Derek covered the phone briefly. When he returned, his tone had shifted to fake sweetness. "Look, Patricia says we could spot you money for basic Disney tickets. Not VIP or anything, but Jake could tag along if you really want." "Tag along?" "Well, he'd have to stay in a budget hotel, obviously, and he couldn't join our character dining reservations, those were expensive. But he could walk around the parks." The condescension was suffocating. "Let me get this straight. You want Jake to watch your kids enjoy VIP experiences while he stands in regular lines alone?" "I'm trying to help here, Milton." "No, Derek. You're trying to humiliate my son while looking generous." Patricia's voice became clearer as she grabbed the phone. "Milton, honey, we're offering to include Jake out of family obligation. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." "Family obligation?" "Well, yes. Everyone knows Jake works to help with your household expenses. We understand your situation." My blood turned to ice. "What did you just say?" Derek explained how you need Jake's income to make ends meet. It's nothing to be ashamed of, lots of single fathers struggle. The world tilted sideways. "Derek told you I use Jake's money for household bills?" "Not just us," Patricia continued obliviously. "He mentioned it to your parents last month when they asked why Jake couldn't visit for the weekend. Said the boy was working to help Daddy pay rent." I sat down hard, my legs unable to support the weight of this betrayal. Derek had been systematically destroying Jake's reputation and mine throughout our extended family, painting me as a father who exploits his child's labor. "Derek." My voice came out flat dangerous. He took the phone back from Patricia. "What?" "You've been telling people I take Jake's money. I may have mentioned your financial difficulties to explain why the boy works so much. Jake has never given me a single dollar, Derek. His entire paycheck goes into his college fund." "Well, how was I supposed to know that?" The climactic twist arrived like a thunderbolt when Derek's tone shifted to something approaching panic. Because he knew exactly where Jake's money went. He knew because Jake had been sending $20 every month to Emma and Tyler's college funds, believing he was helping family. "Derek, does Jake send money to your kids' college accounts?" "I don't see how that's relevant." "Answer me." He sends a small amount monthly, but I never asked him to." How much and for how long? $20 for 14 months, but Milton, I tried to refuse it. $280. Jake has given your already privileged children nearly $300 while you've been telling everyone he doesn't contribute to family. I never said he doesn't contribute. You said he didn't earn the Disney trip. You said my kid doesn't deserve what your kids deserve. All while he's been quietly helping your children's future with money he earns $1 at a time. Derek had no answer. The silence stretched until I hung up my hands, shaking with rage that threatened to consume everything in its path. I drove home in a daze, Derek's betrayal playing on repeat in my mind. Our small ranch house sat on Maple Street, humble but clean, with Jake's bicycle propped against the garage door where he'd left it after biking to school that morning. I found him in his bedroom, hunched over his laptop at the second-hand desk we'd assembled together last summer. Dad. He looked up with those earnest brown eyes that reminded me so much of Sandra before everything went wrong. How was work? I noticed Disney's official website glowing on his screen, specifically the ticket pricing page. My heart sank to my shoes. Jake, what are you looking at there? His cheeks flushed red as he tried to minimize the browser window. Nothing important. Son, I can see the Disney website. He closed the laptop and turned to face me, his shoulders sagging with defeat. I heard Uncle Derek calling earlier when I got home from school. The walls are thin. How much did you hear? Enough. Jake's voice cracked slightly. He doesn't want me going to Disney because I haven't saved birthday money like Emma and Tyler. I sat on his bed, the mattress creaking under my weight. The room smelled like teenage boy and the industrial soap from Murphy's Market that clung to his work clothes. His red apron hung neatly on the closet door, ready for tomorrow's shift. Jake, Uncle Derek is wrong about a lot of things. No, Daddy's right. Jake's voice carried resignation that no 16-year-old should possess. I chose to work instead of saving for fun stuff. That's on me. You're working to build a future. That's incredibly mature. Jake pulled open his desk drawer and retrieved a small gift bag I'd never seen before. Inside were 2 Disney keychains, obviously purchased with his employee discount from Murphy's limited souvenir section. I bought these for Emma and Tyler, thought I'd surprise them when they got back from the trip. He set the bag aside carefully. Guess that was stupid. The sight of those inexpensive keychains chosen with such thoughtfulness nearly broke me. That's not stupid, Jake. That's generous. I've been saving since I started working, Dad. $3,200 in my college fund. His voice gained strength as he spoke about his achievement. I thought maybe I could surprise everyone, use some of my college money to pay for my own Disney trip. Show them I could afford it. Oh, son. But Uncle Derek's right. I didn't save birthday money because I don't get birthday money to save. I get presents, good presents, but not cash like Emma and Tyler. Jake's analytical mind was working through the unfairness methodically. Their allowances are bigger than my paychecks. I wanted to tell him about Derek's lies about the months of planning that excluded him deliberately, but Jake was still talking. You know what bothers me most, Dad? All my friends talk about Disney trips at lunch. Connor went last summer, Madison goes every year with her family. I just smile and nod, but inside I'm calculating how many grocery shifts it would take to afford what they're describing. Jake, you don't have to justify working. But I do, though, because when I'm bagging groceries on Friday nights while my classmates are at football games or hanging out at the mall, I wonder if I'm missing something important. Like maybe I should be a regular teenager instead of thinking about college all the time. Jake stood up and walked to his window, looking out at the neighborhood where other kids his age were shooting basketballs in driveways or riding skateboards down sidewalks. I love working at Murphy's, Dad. I really do. Mr. Peterson treats me fair. The customers are mostly nice, and I'm proud of my college fund. But sometimes I just want to be 16 without worrying about my future every single day. The climactic twist came when Jake turned back to me with tears in his eyes. I've been sending $20 every month to Emma and Tyler's college funds, Dad, since I started working. I thought it was the right thing to do helping family even though they have way more than us. My heart stopped. Jake, how did you know about their college funds? Uncle Derek gave me their account information last year. Said family helps family. Jake wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. I figured if I couldn't afford to do big things like Disney trips, at least I could help them with small amounts over time. $20 a month for how long? 14 months. $280 total. Jake's pride in his contribution was evident despite his tears. Uncle Derek never mentions it, but I see the transfers go through. I thought maybe it would prove I'm not just thinking about myself. I pulled Jake into a hug that lasted several minutes, my own eyes burning with unshed tears. My son had been quietly sacrificing even more of his hard-earned money to help Derek's already privileged children, believing it would demonstrate his family loyalty. Meanwhile, Derek had been systematically undermining Jake's character to everyone who would listen. Dad, did I do something wrong? Is Uncle Derek mad at me for some other reason? I held Jake tighter, making a decision that would change everything. No, son, you did nothing wrong, but I'm about to make things very right. After Jake went to bed, I sat at our kitchen table with my laptop and a cup of coffee that grew cold as the hours passed. The grandfather clock in our living room chimed midnight, then 1 o'clock, then 2, but I kept researching and planning with an intensity I hadn't felt since law school 20 years ago. Disney VIP tours. Private guided experiences that cost more than most people's monthly salaries. Exclusive access to areas regular guests never see. Personal photographers to capture magical moments. Character meetings in private settings away from crowds and chaos. The numbers made my stomach churn initially. $15,000 for a 3-day VIP package. $25,000 for the ultimate week-long experience. These weren't vacations for middle-class insurance adjusters raising sons on grocery store wages. But then I remembered the shoebox in my bedroom closet, the one containing documents I'd been avoiding since Grandma Rose passed away 18 months ago. Her attorney had mentioned an inheritance, but I'd been so overwhelmed with divorce proceedings and Jake's needs that I'd never properly reviewed the paperwork. I retrieved the shoebox with hands that trembled slightly. Inside, beneath sympathy cards and funeral programs, lay a manila envelope marked Estate Documents, Milton Thornfield. Grandma Rose had left me her house, which sold for $32,000 after paying her final expenses. I deposited the money into a savings account earmarked for emergencies too emotionally drained to think about anything else. But there was another document I'd barely glanced at, something about a trust fund that wouldn't mature until 18 months after her death. I called the attorney's office first thing Wednesday morning, reaching his answering service since it was barely 6 a.m. Morrison Law Office, this is the emergency line. This is Milton Thornfield. I need to speak with Mr. Morrison about my grandmother's estate. Rose Thornfield. Mr. Thornfield, it's quite early. Can this wait until normal business hour? I'm sorry, but I need information about a trust fund that should have matured recently. 20 minutes later, Mr. Morrison called me back personally. Milton, good to hear from you. I've been trying to reach you about Rose's trust fund. The 18-month waiting period ended last week. What does that mean exactly? It means you now have access to an additional $48,000. Rose invested in Microsoft stock back in the 1990s and never touched it. The trust was designed to let the investments grow after her death. I nearly dropped the phone. $48,000 plus the $32,000 already in savings. $80,000 total. Mr. Morrison, are you certain about this amount? Absolutely. I have the paperwork ready for your signature. Rose was quite specific that this money should help you provide opportunities for Jake that you couldn't otherwise afford. Grandma Rose, even in death, she was looking out for Jake and me. I spent the next 2 hours researching Disney's most exclusive experiences. The VIP tour package I selected included private transportation, dedicated tour guides, front-of-line access to all attractions, exclusive dining experiences, character meet and greets in private settings, and a professional photographer to document everything. But the climactic twist came when I called Disney's VIP services directly. Disney VIP Experience, this is Jennifer. How may I create magic for you today? I'd like to book a 3-day VIP tour for my son and myself. Money is not an object. Wonderful. What dates were you considering? The same dates my brother's family will be there. I want my son to experience Disney properly while his cousins wait in regular lines. Jennifer's excitement was genuine as she described options I'd never imagined. Private castle tours after park closing, breakfast with Mickey Mouse in his exclusive VIP dining room, behind-the-scenes access to animation studios and costume workshops, a personal suite in the Grand Floridian with turn-down service and 24-hour concierge. The total for our Platinum package would be $15,800, including all meals, accommodations, and experiences. I'll take it. Excellent. I'll also arrange for our photographer to capture every moment. These memories will last a lifetime. I gave Jennifer my credit card information without hesitation, my hands steady as rocks. Jake deserved this. He deserved to see Disney the way it was meant to be experienced, not as some charity case tagging along behind Derek's family. That evening, I found Jake in his room studying for his chemistry exam while his work uniform hung freshly washed on his door. "Hey, buddy, how was your shift today?" "Good." Mrs. Henderson brought her granddaughter in and I helped them find ingredients for chocolate chip cookies. The little girl was so excited about baking with Grandma. "That sounds nice." Mr. Peterson said corporate noticed my customer service scores. Apparently, people mentioned me specifically in their feedback surveys. Pride swelled in my chest. "That's because you treat everyone with respect, Jake." "I just try to help however I can." I sat on his bed, gathering courage for what came next. "Jake, I need to tell you something about Uncle Derek and the Disney trip." "Dad, it's okay. I understand why I can't go." "No, son. You don't understand because I haven't told you the truth about our family's finances or about some recent changes." Jake closed his chemistry book and gave me his full attention. "Your great-grandmother Rose left us more money than I initially realized, significantly more." "How much more?" "Enough to take you to Disney properly. Not as someone's charity case, not tagging along behind your cousins, but as a VIP guest with experiences they'll never have access to." Jake's eyes widened. "Dad, what are you saying?" "I'm saying pack your bags, son. We're going to Disney World and we're going first class." The morning I surprised Jake with our Disney VIP trip, his reaction made every dollar worth spending. He'd been preparing for his usual Wednesday shift at Murphy's, carefully ironing his work shirt and packing his lunch when I knocked on his bedroom door. "Jake, call Mr. Peterson and tell him you need 3 days off for a family emergency." "Dad, I can't just skip work. We're short-staffed this week. Trust me on this one." I handed him a printed confirmation email from Disney VIP Services. "Read that." Jake's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief as he scanned the document. "Disney World VIP Platinum Experience, Dad. This has to be a mistake." "No mistake. We leave Friday morning. Private jet to Orlando luxury resort accommodation and 3 days of VIP access to everything Disney has to offer." Jake sank onto his bed, the paper trembling in his hands. "But this costs..." "Dad, this costs more than my entire college fund." "Your college fund is still intact, son. This is separate money from great-grandma Rose." "I thought she just left us enough to fix the roof." "She left us much more than that. Money specifically intended to give you opportunities I couldn't provide otherwise." Jake's eyes filled with tears as the reality sank in. "We're really going to Disney World. We're going to experience Disney the way most people only dream about." Friday morning arrived with unusual warmth for October. Our private car service picked us up at 6 a.m., the driver loading our luggage while Jake stared wide-eyed at the luxury sedan. "Mr. Thornfield, I'll have you to the airport in 20 minutes, the driver said professionally. Jake had never flown before, let alone on a private jet. His excitement was infectious as we boarded the small aircraft complete with leather seats and a flight attendant who brought us breakfast during the 2-hour flight. Dad, I can't believe this is happening. Jake pressed his face to the window as we approached Orlando. Look at all those theme parks down there. Our Disney VIP guide, Maria, met us at the airport with a sign bearing our names and an enormous smile. Welcome to the most magical vacation on Earth. I'll be your personal guide for the next 3 days. The limousine ride to the Grand Floridian Resort was like entering another world. Jake photographed everything with his phone, his excitement building with each mile. Mr. Thornfield, your suite overlooks the Magic Kingdom, Maria explained as we checked in. You'll have perfect views of the fireworks each evening, and our concierge team is available 24 hours daily. Our suite was larger than our entire house back home. Jake explored every room twice, marveling at the marble bathrooms, the stocked refrigerator, and the balcony overlooking Cinderella Castle in the distance. Dad, this is incredible. How is any of this real? Saturday morning brought our first VIP park experience. While Derek's family would be fighting crowds and waiting in hour-long lines, Jake and I enjoyed immediate access to every attraction. Our personal photographer, Steven, captured Jake's pure joy as we rode Space Mountain 3 consecutive times without leaving our seats. In my 8 years working VIP services, I've never seen a young man appreciate this experience more, Steven told me quietly. The climactic twist of our Disney adventure came during our private character breakfast on Sunday morning. We were dining with Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy in an exclusive restaurant that regular guests never see when my phone rang. Dad, should you answer that? I glanced at the caller ID. Derek. No, this is our time. But Derek called again immediately, then sent a text message. Milton, I saw your Facebook posts. Call me immediately. Jake was posing for pictures with Mickey when I realized the significance. I hadn't posted anything on social media yet, but Steven had been uploading our professional photos to a private gallery that I could share if desired. Steven, did you upload yesterday's photos somewhere? Yes, sir. They're in your private gallery, but the sharing settings default to family and friends if you connected your social media accounts during booking. My stomach dropped. In my excitement about the trip, I'd connected my Facebook account to automatically share our VIP experience photos. Derek's family, along with everyone else, could see exactly how Jake and I were experiencing Disney. I checked my phone. 17 missed calls from Derek, 43 text messages, and hundreds of Facebook notifications. Our photos had gone viral among family and friends, showing Jake meeting Mickey in private settings, enjoying exclusive dining experiences, and accessing areas of the parks that most visitors never see. The contrast with Derek's family vacation was stark and public. While Jake posed with characters in elegant private settings, Derek's latest post showed Emma and Tyler standing in massive crowds looking tired and overwhelmed. But the real climactic twist came when my phone rang again. This time it was Mr. Peterson from Murphy's Market. Milton, I hope you don't mind me calling during Jake's vacation. Is everything okay? More than okay. Jake's story has reached some important people. Corporate executives from our parent company saw the news coverage about his work ethic and your Disney trip. They want to offer Jake something special. News coverage. Son, your VIP Disney experience made the local news. The story of a teenage grocery clerk earning his dream vacation through hard work and family support. It's gone viral. Jake looked up from his conversation with Goofy, sensing something significant was happening. Mr. Peterson, what kind of offer? Full college scholarship through our corporate education program. 4 years, any accredited university completely paid. Jake would be our first scholarship recipient, but his dedication and character impressed everyone who heard his story. I nearly dropped the phone. Jake noticed my shocked expression and excused himself from the character photos. Dad, what's wrong? I covered the phone. Jake, Mr. Peterson wants to offer you a full college scholarship. What, Dad, are you serious? I put the call on speaker so Jake could hear directly. Mr. Peterson repeated the offer, explaining how Jake's work ethic and the positive attention from our Disney trip had inspired corporate leadership to create a new scholarship program. Jake, you've represented our company values better than any employee in our 50-year history. This scholarship is our way of investing in young people like you." Jake's eyes filled with tears as the magnitude of the opportunity sank in. 4 years of college completely funded, because he'd chosen to work hard and treat people with respect. "Mr. Peterson, I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank your father too, Jake. The way he raised you speaks volumes about both of you." As we finished our magical breakfast with Disney characters, I realized that our VIP experience had transformed into something much larger than a vacation. It had become a celebration of Jake's character and a validation of every value I'd tried to instill in him. "Dad, this is the best day of my entire life." "Mine too, son. Mine too." By Sunday evening, our Disney VIP experience had created a social media phenomenon that neither Jake nor I anticipated. What started as automatic photo sharing had evolved into a viral celebration of hard work, family values, and the rewards of perseverance. I discovered the extent of our online fame when the hotel concierge knocked on our suite door. "Mr. Thornfield, there are several news crews in our lobby requesting interviews. Your story has gained significant national attention." Jake emerged from his bedroom wearing Mickey Mouse ears and a grin that hadn't faded since breakfast. "Dad, my phone won't stop buzzing. I have 300 new friend requests on social media." We opened my laptop to investigate. Our Disney photos had been shared thousands of times across various platforms. Local news stations in 3 states had picked up the story of the hard-working teenage grocery clerk whose father surprised him with the Disney VIP experience. The narrative resonated with people nationwide. Dedication rewarded family bonds, strengthened and dreams realized through honest labor. But the most dramatic response came from within our own family. Derek had been calling continuously, his messages growing increasingly frantic as our photos gained traction. "Milton, answer your phone immediately. This is getting out of hand. People are asking questions about Jake that I can't answer. Why didn't you tell me you had this kind of money?" I finally answered when he called for the 15th time Sunday evening. "Derek." "Milton, what the hell is going on? My Facebook is exploding with people asking why Jake wasn't invited on our Disney trip when you obviously could afford VIP experiences. Maybe you should have asked about our financial situation before assuming Jake didn't deserve family inclusion. Don't turn this around on me. You deliberately made me look bad." "I didn't make you look like anything, Derek. I took my son on the vacation he earned through hard work and good character." Earned Milton, he bags groceries. And apparently that grocery store job impressed the right people. Jake just received a full college scholarship. Silence stretched across the phone line like a chasm. A scholarship. 4 years fully paid to any accredited university. Corporate leadership was so impressed with his work ethic and the positive attention from our Disney trip that they created a scholarship program specifically for him. That's impossible." Check the news, Derek. Jake's story is being covered by multiple outlets. The narrative of a dedicated teenager who works hard while his family supports him has resonated with people across the country. I heard Patricia's voice in the background, shrill and agitated. Derek covered the phone briefly before returning. "Patricia wants to know why you never mentioned having money for VIP Disney experiences." "I never mentioned it because you never asked. You assumed I was struggling financially and used that assumption to justify excluding Jake from family activities. We offered to pay for basic tickets. You offered charity while planning VIP experiences for your own children. Jake deserved better than your condescending generosity." The climactic twist came when Derek's voice cracked with something approaching panic. "Milton, people are calling me. Relatives, friends from the country club, even business associates. They're asking why I excluded Jake when your family obviously has significant resources." "What are you telling them?" "I don't know what to tell them." Patricia is mortified. Her social media posts about our Disney trip look petty compared to your VIP photos. I pulled up Patricia's Facebook page on my laptop. Her recent posts told the story Derek didn't want to acknowledge. Photos of Emma and Tyler standing in long lines looking tired and frustrated. Complaints about crowd sizes, heat, and expensive food. One particularly telling post showed them eating fast food in their budget hotel room, while Jake and I were documented dining with Disney characters in exclusive settings. The contrast was devastating for Derek's image. His attempts to exclude Jake from the family trip had backfired spectacularly, making him appear jealous and petty, while Jake emerged as the hardworking hero of an inspiring success story. Derek, maybe this is a learning opportunity. For who? For your kids. Emma and Tyler might benefit from understanding that character and work ethic matter more than entitlement and privilege. Don't lecture me about raising my children. I'm not lecturing. I'm suggesting that Jake's example might inspire them to develop their own work ethic and appreciation for earned success. Derek's breathing became audible. The country club members are talking Milton. Patricia's garden club friends are asking pointed questions about family dynamics. What kind of questions? About why we excluded the hardworking nephew while taking our privileged children on expensive vacations. About whether we've been treating you and Jake fairly within the family structure. I felt a moment of sympathy for Derek, recognizing that his public image had been seriously damaged. But then I remembered Jake's tears when he learned about the Disney exclusion, and my sympathy evaporated. Maybe those are good questions, Derek. This isn't fair, Milton. You ambushed us. I gave my son the vacation he deserved. If that makes you look bad by comparison, perhaps you should examine your own choices. Jake appeared beside me holding his phone with excitement. Dad, Good Morning America wants to interview us tomorrow. They want to discuss the importance of work ethic and family support in young people's development. I covered my phone to respond to Jake. What do you think? Do you want to be on television? If it helps other kids understand that working hard pays off, then yes. Derek apparently heard this exchange. You're going on national television. If Jake wants to share his story, then we'll share it. Milton, please. Can we meet when you get back? Patricia and I need to apologize properly. For the first time in our conversation, Derek sounded genuinely remorseful rather than defensive. We'll see, Derek. Right now, I'm focused on celebrating Jake's achievements and the opportunities ahead of him. After I hung up, Jake and I sat on our suite balcony watching fireworks explode over Cinderella Castle. The contrast between our magical vacation and Derek's damage control efforts felt surreal. Dad, do you think Uncle Derek will ever understand why his Disney exclusion was wrong? I hope so, son. But more importantly, I hope Emma and Tyler learn from this experience. They're good kids who deserve better examples than their parents have been providing. Maybe they could get jobs too, learn what it feels like to earn their own money. That would be a positive development. Jake leaned back in his chair, Mickey ears still perched on his head. This has been the most incredible 3 days of my life, Dad. Not just Disney, but everything. The scholarship, the news attention, the way people are responding to the idea that hard work matters. You deserve all of it, Jake, every single bit. We should probably head home tomorrow and deal with Uncle Derek's situation. I nodded, knowing that our magical Disney escape was ending, but confident that the real magic, Jake's character, his work ethic, and his bright future, would continue long after we left Orlando. 2 weeks after returning from Disney World, our family gathered for Sunday dinner at our parents' house on Elm Street. The atmosphere carried tension that everyone could feel, but nobody wanted to acknowledge directly. Derek arrived 30 minutes late. Patricia trailing behind him with the forced smile she wore when feeling socially uncomfortable. Emma and Tyler bounded toward Jake immediately, their excitement genuine and refreshing. Jake, we saw all your Disney photos online. The VIP experiences looked incredible. Emma's enthusiasm reminded me that Derek's children weren't responsible for their parents' poor judgment. The private character meetings were amazing, Jake replied graciously. I hope you guys had fun on your trip too. Tyler nodded enthusiastically. We did, but the lines were really long. 2 hours for Space Mountain. Jake rode it 3 times in a row without getting off, I mentioned casually. Derek winced visibly while Patricia's smile became even more strained. During dinner, our parents peppered Jake with questions about the scholarship offer and the national news coverage. His responses demonstrated the same humble confidence that had impressed his grocery store managers. The scholarship feels surreal, Grandma. 4 years of college completely paid for because I bagged groceries and tried to treat customers nicely. You did much more than that, honey, our mother replied warmly. You showed character and dedication that impressed everyone who heard your story. Derek cleared his throat uncomfortably. Jake, I owe you an apology. The dinner table fell silent except for the grandfather clock ticking in the adjoining room. Uncle Derek, you don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. I excluded you from our Disney trip based on assumptions about your family's financial situation and judgments about your work ethic that were completely wrong. Jake set down his fork and met Derek's eyes directly. I understand why you made those decisions. Your kids do get allowances that let them save money for fun activities. I chose to work instead. But that's exactly the point, Jake. You chose to work to build character, to save for college, to help others. Those are admirable qualities that I should have celebrated, not criticized. Patricia dabbed her eyes with her napkin. Jake, I'm ashamed of the things I said about your father's financial situation. We made assumptions without understanding the full picture. Mrs. Patricia, everyone makes mistakes. Derek leaned forward, his voice carrying genuine remorse. Jake, I discovered that you've been sending money to Emma and Tyler's college funds for over a year. $20 every month from your grocery store earnings. Emma and Tyler looked shocked. Jake, you've been sending us money. Just a little bit. I wanted to help family. But we get huge allowances, Tyler said with dawning understanding. You work for every dollar. Family helps family, Jake replied simply. That's what Uncle Derek taught me. The irony wasn't lost on anyone at the table. Jake had internalized the family values that Derek preached, but failed to practice. Our father, who'd been quietly observing the dynamics, finally spoke. Derek, this situation has taught us all something important about making assumptions and treating family members fairly. I know, Dad. I've been thinking about that constantly since the Disney trip. What conclusions have you reached? Our mother asked gently. Derek glanced at Patricia before responding. That privilege without character is worthless. That Jake's work ethic is something Emma and Tyler should emulate, not something to look down upon. We want to get jobs too, Emma announced suddenly. Like Jake. Real jobs where we earn our own money, Tyler added. Derek looked surprised. You want to work? Jake has a college scholarship because he impressed people with his dedication. We want to learn what that feels like. I felt a surge of pride watching Jake's positive influence ripple through his cousins. His example was inspiring them to seek meaningful experiences beyond their privileged upbringing. The climactic twist of our family reconciliation came when Derek reached into his jacket pocket. Jake, I have something for you. He handed Jake an envelope. This contains the money you sent to Emma and Tyler's college funds, plus interest, plus an additional amount Patricia and I want to contribute to your college expenses. Jake opened the envelope and his eyes widened. Uncle Derek, this is too much. No, it's not nearly enough to make up for how I treated you and your father. But it's a start. I can't accept this. You can and you will. Consider it a family investment in the young man who showed us what real character looks like. As dinner concluded, Derek asked if he could speak with me privately. We walked onto our parents' back porch where autumn leaves scattered across the wooden deck. Milton, I need you to know that my behavior toward you and Jake was inexcusable. Derek, we all make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. This was jealousy and insecurity manifesting as cruelty toward my nephew. I watched Jake develop into an incredible young man, while my kids remained focused on material advantages. Instead of learning from his example, I resented it. Jake doesn't harbor any resentment, Derek. He should. I certainly would if our positions were reversed. We stood in comfortable silence watching Jake teach Emma and Tyler card tricks on the porch swing. My kids have been asking about getting jobs ever since they saw Jake's Disney photos and scholarship news. They want to understand what earning something feels like. That's a positive development. Patricia and I have decided to reduce their allowances significantly. not as punishment, but to give them opportunities to develop their own work ethic. I nodded approvingly. Jake started working because he wanted independence and purpose. Maybe Emma and Tyler will discover the same satisfaction. I hope so. I want them to understand that character matters more than money, that respect is earned through actions not inherited through privilege. Derek paused, gathering courage for his next words. Milton, I need to ask for your forgiveness. Not just for the Disney situation, but for months of undermining your reputation within our family. I told people things about your finances and Jake's work that were designed to make me feel superior. I know about that, Derek. I'm ashamed of the man I became, jealous of my own brother's success in raising an incredible son. Jake is pretty incredible. He is, and you raised him that way despite facing challenges I can't imagine. Single parenthood, financial pressure, social stigma. You handled it all while building Jake's character and maintaining your dignity. I felt the anger and resentment I'd carried for months beginning to dissolve. Derek's apology felt genuine, backed by concrete changes in his family's approach to money and work. Derek, I forgive you. But more importantly, focus on being a better example for Emma and Tyler moving forward. I will. Patricia and I both will. As our families prepared to leave that evening, I pulled Jake aside. How do you feel about Uncle Derek's apology? Good. I think he really means it this time. And Emma and Tyler wanting jobs. I'm excited for them. Working teaches you things about yourself that money can't buy. What kinds of things? Like how good it feels to earn something through your own effort. How much you appreciate things when you pay for them yourself. How to treat people with respect regardless of their job or income level. Jake's wisdom amazed me constantly. At 16, he understood concepts about character and values that many adults never grasp. Dad, can I ask you something? Always. Do you think Great-Grandma Rose knew her inheritance would lead to all this? The Disney trip? The scholarship? The family reconciliation? I considered his question carefully. I think Great-Grandma Rose knew that supporting good character and family values would lead to positive outcomes. Maybe not specifically these outcomes, but something meaningful. I want to visit her grave next weekend. Thank her for the opportunities and tell her about the scholarship. I think she'd like that very much. As we drove home that evening, Jake stared out the passenger window at the familiar streets of our neighborhood. Dad, this whole experience taught me something important. What's that? That doing the right thing consistently, even when nobody's watching or acknowledging it, eventually leads to recognition and opportunity. Not always in ways you expect, but in ways that matter. That's a profound observation, son. The Disney trip was incredible, and the scholarship is life-changing, but the best part was watching Uncle Derek realize that character matters more than money. And seeing Emma and Tyler get inspired to work for themselves. I pulled into our driveway and turned off the engine. Our modest house looked exactly the same as always, but everything felt different now. The financial stress had lifted thanks to Grandma Rose's inheritance. Jake's future was secure thanks to his scholarship. Our family relationships had healed thanks to honest conversations and genuine apologies. Jake, I'm proud of the man you're becoming. Thanks, Dad. I'm proud of how you raised me. As we walked toward our front door, Jake in his freshly laundered work uniform, ready for tomorrow's shift at Murphy's Market. I reflected on the journey that brought us to this moment. The text message from Derek that initially devastated us had ultimately revealed the strength of Jake's character and the power of family love properly expressed. True wealth, I realized, came from raising a son who worked hard, treated people with respect, and maintained his integrity under pressure. The Disney VIP experience and scholarship opportunities were wonderful bonuses, but Jake's character was the real treasure that would serve him throughout his life. The next morning, I watched through my office window as Jake helped customers at Murphy's Market with the same dedication and cheerfulness he'd shown before becoming a local celebrity. Success hadn't changed him because his values ran deeper than external recognition. That evening, Jake announced his decision to continue working part-time at Murphy's throughout college, not because he needed the money anymore, but because he valued the relationships and life lessons the job provided. Plus, he grinned. Mr. Peterson says corporate wants to develop a leadership program around my story. I could help other young people understand the benefits of developing strong work ethic. As I tucked Jake's scholarship paperwork into our family filing cabinet, next to photos from our Disney VIP experience and thank you cards from relatives who'd been inspired by his example, I understood the deeper lesson Grandma Rose had intended. The greatest inheritance we can give our children isn't money or privilege, but the character to create their own opportunities through hard work, integrity, and kindness toward others. Jake had learned those lessons well, and now he was teaching them to his cousins and inspiring strangers across the country. Sometimes the best revenge against those who doubt us is simply living well and raising children who exemplify the values we hold dear. Derek's exclusion of Jake from the Disney trip had backfired spectacularly, but more importantly, it had revealed Jake's true character to a nationwide audience and inspired positive changes within our own family. As I turned off the lights that night, I felt deep gratitude for the journey that had led us here. Jake was sleeping peacefully in his room, his red Murphy's Market apron hanging ready for tomorrow's shift, his scholarship acceptance letter propped against his desk lamp like a beacon of endless possibility. The future stretched before us, filled with opportunities earned through character supported by love, and guided by the timeless values that Grandma Rose had instilled in our family generations ago. Jake would attend college as a scholarship recipient, but more importantly, he would enter adulthood as a young man of integrity, who understood that true success comes from building others up rather than tearing them down. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone underestimated your worth or excluded you from family activities only to have circumstances prove them wrong in unexpected ways? I'd love to hear your stories about overcoming family challenges and the lessons you learned along the way. Please share your experiences in the comments below, and if this story resonated with you, I'd appreciate your like and subscription to hear more about the power of family values and personal character. Don't forget to share this story with anyone who might benefit from understanding that hard work and integrity always lead to meaningful rewards, even when the path isn't immediately clear. Thank you for listening to Jake's journey, and I wish you and your families the strength to support each other through every challenge and celebration life brings your way.